Okay, once again, hello everyone. We would like to begin with a slideshow of Dorothy Kay
Keyzer.
And this has been put together by lovely Tara, one of the granddaughters. And it's going to be to the hymn Jerusalem, which is really special to Kay. Okay? Please join us in reciting the Lord's Prayer.
The Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6, 9 through 13.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts. And we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And once again, if you don't mind reciting along to the Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me.
You are with me.
Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup
in the presence of my enemies.
Surely,
you anoint my head with oil.
Will follow me
my
all
cup
the days
overflows.
of my life.
Surely goodness and love will follow all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Thank you, everybody, that was very nice. We gather today in celebration of life of Dorothy Kay
Keyzer.
For some, that means remembering Kay by telling some of her story and honoring the legacy that she has left in this world by how she lived. The way in which you remember is your act of respect and ongoing love and friendship for Kay. For others, the celebration will also include focusing on life that is received in another realm, life that is now bestowed on Kay by the grace of God. However you perceive the meaning and value of a celebration of life, it is good that we gather together at a time like this. For however long we are together, we become a community that can support one another and help one another move through a time of grief and loss. My name is Cindy McCallum, and it is my privilege to lead you through this gathering in memory of Kay. I would like to now call up Kay's grandson, Matthew, for the lighting of a memorial candle. We light this candle today to acknowledge grief that comes with death, to be grateful for life in the face of loss, to proclaim hope in the midst of sadness, to be an act of courage, and despite the pain, this candle speaks of love that has not ended with death, peace that is found in the midst of difficult days, grace that lets us accept reality, and memories that will be cherished forever. We light this candle for Kay. Of all the memories you have, may love be what you remember most. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is a wonderful thing to remember someone. Memory is a unique quality to the human creature. It allows us to face the sadness of loss, find comfort in loved ones' release of suffering, and feel again the love that lets departed family and friends still be close even after death. It's important that memories build appreciation for what gained and enjoyed, not making us bitter or remorseful over its loss. We remember so that we can honor Kay's life that was lived with impact, fullness, and love. We remember in order to tell the story of Kay, who lived and made a difference to us. We remember so that Kay's life continues to have significance. And so we remember because it is good to do so. It is an act of ongoing love. Now, with the help of the family, I put together a little story of Kay, okay, and we'll see how it goes. On behalf of Kay's family and the family, on behalf of Kay and the family, thank you so much for all of you being here today. You are here today because somehow, some way, your life intersected with Kay. Perhaps it was from community services, maybe from the Rotary Club, or perhaps her traveling days. If this sounds right, how fitting you are here today. Kay found many things in life to enjoy. For example, contributing her time with Meals on Wheels, Downtown Mission, and Rotary Ann. I was told when Kay first arrived to Victoria, first thing she did was to volunteer at the soup kitchen for the Catholic Church. Kay continued to do so every Friday morning for many years. Kay had an adventure for travel. If she wasn't traveling around to see her family, she was off to places such as Africa, Europe, and the Far East. Kay had friends from all around the world. Her affectionate way and sincere caring enriched the lives of everyone around her. Kay is someone who was seen as a class act. She was always fashionably dressed, as you all probably know. Her hair and her nails done to perfection, shoes, bags, handbags, the whole 9 yards. I've been told Kay liked to shop at W.J. Wilson's. So much so, she was known to be like a key figure in the store. And and they were thinking it's going to take the bottom line, the store's going to take a hit, and the bottom line is going to be not so great this year. And as all the family knows, she was not only mindful of her own style, but she would certainly let her sons and grandchildren know if she thought their hair was too long or not in the style of her liking. Granny always voiced her own thoughts on fashion. One would refer to Kay as a people person. It was how she faced life and how she left her mark in this world. The people closest to her mattered the most. Her life was focused around the love of her life and soulmate Jack during their 37 years of marriage. Their love was a definitive element of her life. Her 2 sons, Michael and David, were the source and pride and pleasure that she could make a home for them. Kay, known as Granny to her 7 grandchildren, who are Matthew, Andrew, Michael, Catherine, Tara, Dylan, and Chris, who is here in heart and spirit. He could not be here as he lives in London, England. Kay, also known as Gigi, to her 6 grandchildren. They are Scarlett, Sienna, Connor, Alice, Ben, and Max, all who made life worth living. I'm thinking this is why she lived to 94 and a half years old. Kay had quite an interest in sports such as hockey, baseball, and dance. One of her highlights was to watch her granddaughter Katie dance. Kay was supportive in watching her grandchildren play all various sports, just like she used to do for her 2 sons. There is no doubt the grandchildren breathed life and joy into Granny and Gigi's life. For Kay, the mere presence of her family made every day better, and she left her indelible mark on all of them. What has been made very clear to me by Kay's family is how much all her grandchildren meant the absolute world to her. So much so, I have something I'd like to read for each and every one of her precious angels. I have titled it as Positive Messages from Granny or Gigi. My world was better with you in it. I thought about you when we were apart. You made a difference, in my life. I loved being your Granny and Gigi. I believed in you. It's good to be curious. You were very important to me. I was grateful for you. You have great ideas. I appreciated you. I admired you. Don't ever give up. Your ideas are great. You made me smile. You made my heart full. Never stop trying. Your ideas were really interesting. I was happy when I talked with you. I'm proud of you. I really wanted to hear what you have to say. You're the kind of friend I would like to have at your age. You kept me young. It was fun to do things with you. And last but not least, I will always love you. Okay, and now I'd like to call on 2 sons, Michael and David, please. They have a few words to say.
As Mary Elizabeth Fry once wrote, "Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sun on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the warm morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there, I did not die." My mother lamented to me on many occasions before she died that she felt she had lived too long. Crippled by a variety of skeletal issues, plagued by arthritis, and because of her age, had lost so many of her dear friends that she felt it was time to join the love of her life, my stepfather, Jack Keyzer, known fondly by many of us as the Commodore, in reference to his tenure as such in the International Yachting Federation of Rotarians. Under the circumstances, it's not difficult to understand and appreciate how my mother felt. I do appreciate equally what some call the calamity of so long life. To find comfort in what has happened these past weeks, months, and years, I have to borrow the words from a 1960s rock band's monologue to one of their songs in an attempt to do so. It reads as follows. When the white eagle of the north is flying overhead, and the browns, reds, and golds of autumn lie in the gutter dead, remember then the summer birds of wings of fire flame, come to witness spring's new hope, born of leaves decaying. As new life will come from death, love will come at leisure. For love and love of life and giving without measure gives in return a wondrous yearning for promise almost seen. Live hand in hand and together we'll stand on the threshold of a dream. I'm very grateful that my mother is at peace at last. I'm very grateful too that my mother is pain-free, finally. For me, that will take some time. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for playing such an important part in my mother's life, for fulfilling her experiences in Victoria and afar. Her life was, without any question, richer for your presence in it. I thank you too for being here today, near and far, electronic or live, and wish us all long life, excellent health, and great happiness until it's our time to cross the Great Divide and join my mum and Jack for a glass of wine at their Victoria Regent in the sky. Thank you very much.
Well, this is kind of difficult because he did everything straight out of his head. Cindy has a tablet, and idiot Mike, who's an engineer, pulls out a piece of paper. So like, holy moly, yikes. And he pulls out a piece of paper that he needed to change the font on because he couldn't read it the first time he wrote it. So anyway, well, here goes. Classes. I'd like to thank you all, really, all of you guys, Kay and Jack's friends and family and everybody for coming. And I'd like to thank all of you who are attending remotely. I know there's an 8 to 9 hour time change in all of this because we're in England and South Africa and places all over. But I'd like to acknowledge, to start, all the work and heavy lifting that's been done by my brother. Over the past month, he's been an absolute rock. I'd like to also acknowledge Tara Lee for the slideshow. Wow. And we were sitting in my mother's flat apartment after she, hello, sweetie. After, I can't put you up here. I'd love to, but I can't. But you can hide away. Can you say peekaboo to everybody? Peekaboo. And there was mountains and mountains of albums. And I couldn't remember where all the photos came from. It was just crazy. But anyway, so I'd like to start off with my mother and I had this little thing, and it's funny, but Tara again made this worthwhile. My wife calls me Dad, and I call her Mom, and the kids call my mother Granny. So because I'm an engineer, I went, okay, well, let's just make this simple. I'm going to call my mother Granny. That didn't go down too well, because every time I went, hello, Granny, she went, I'm not your granny, I'm your mother. But Tara just said to me earlier on, I decided to call Granny Gigi. And I'm going, well, this is great, because if you go up to Granny and say, hi, Gigi, she's going to go, I'm not your Gigi, I'm your grandmother. So, perfect. So anyway, going back a while, my mother took both myself and David to school every day in South Africa. She volunteered at the tuck shop in England, and South Africa is the school cafeteria. She flipped burgers. She took us and our teammates to cricket, soccer, and rugby. She was a very caring and supportive mom. In 2013, I went to my 40th high school reunion, and a lot of guys asked, how is Mrs. Critch? How's she doing? And I said, well, she's doing great. I told my mother the story, and she remembered most of the guys' names and all their quirks, because a lot of things go on in the car on the way to games, and the kids are chirping off, and my mother's going, I'm driving, whatever. So I told my mother the story, and she remembered most of the guys' names and their quirks. She remembered all about them. And this goes back 55 years. In 2023, I attended the 50th anniversary, but remotely, and still the guys were asking, how's Mrs. Critch doing? And I went, she's doing great. So this is last year. And all of them asked, asked after her, and I told my mother, do you remember? Do you remember? And she remembered them all. It was amazing. I even have a friend right now called Brian, who is at school with me. I speak to him pretty regularly on WhatsApp. And he asks about my mother, and about a month ago I said, Brian says hi, and my mother says, oh, if you're speaking to Brian, just say hi back. And so, perfect. So my mother, on top of being all the amazing things she was, is quite savvy. In 1981, she said to me, so Michelle, because she called me Michelle, after the Beatles, my Michelle. She called me my Michelle, and so she called me Michelle, and she said, I want to give you a present. And I said, what's that? And she said, I want to buy you an airplane ticket to anywhere you want to go. And she already knew what I was going to say, because me not being adventurous. I said, what would the answer be, Mom? I'm not really interested in traveling, and where would I go? So my mother had already visited Canada, so savvy mom said, so why don't you go and visit Uncle George in New Brunswick? And she knew that whilst I was in Canada, the first thing I'd do is go and look for job offers, and just to test what South Africa counts for in Canada. She already knew, and she went, and I went, guess what? I landed a job in Vancouver. Meg and I immigrated in 1982. Her plan succeeded. I then sponsored her and Jack, and the rest is pretty much history. So about 3 years after I'd immigrate, my mother and Jack were going back and forth. They hadn't really decided. My mother came to Canada on her own and decided, she said to me, okay, so whilst I'm here, I want you to take me all over everywhere. And I went, okay, define everywhere. So my mum went, well, just drive. And we go on the ferry, we go all over everywhere, and we end up going, and I mean everywhere, Nanaimo, Duncan, Seychelles, all over the planet. And we're driving past the Victoria Regent on Wharf Street, and my mother goes, that's it. We're going to live there. And again, the rest is history. My mother lived an absolutely incredible life. She went on the Queen Mary, the Concorde, and through Panama. She went to lots of countries, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Japan, Thailand, England, France, Vienna. She had a lot of friends overseas, and I know because I was the one that did her little Christmas stickers for her, and yeah, 3 pages. So yeah, she had a lot of friends, and you know what? She left a mark. She left a mark. Yes, sweetie. Hello. Whilst having fun and travel, she always had time to give back. She helped the soup kitchen, Meals on Wheels, and I just found out Rotary Anns, and the soup kitchens and other charities. And again, once again, she left a mark. I'm getting there. Only 8 pages to go. No, I'm only kidding. She was a stickler about her appearance. Whoa, was she ever. She was always immaculately dressed, and she loved getting her hair done. She just loved going to the hairdresser. My mother loved and adored her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren, and of course, her family and cousins, who are all here. She has cousins in England. She adored them all. She kept on telling me how lucky she was to have both, to be a granny and a Gigi. And of course, she absolutely loved Jack. Jack was her, and she's now with him, so great. She also loved having her friends over. She loved Canada Day parties with the fireworks and the apartment. Then her apartment was perfect for that. Suite 803 has got to be the best apartment in the whole building. And it's going to be very hard for me to come to Victoria because I really don't have a reason anymore to come to Victoria. And because every time I came, I always looked up and there was a solarium because they put the old solarium up and then they put the new one. And it's kind of a landmark to me. It's going to be very hard. She loved her friends, and she loved the staff of the Victoria Regent. And I guess the feelings are mutual because all of you are here today attending this. It's a celebration, and it's not a sadness. It is a celebration. My mother had a tremendous life. Once again, she left a mark, right? Boy, and here, I'm going to say something now that, but everyone's going to agree, my mother was stubborn. Oh, wow. When she locked onto something, she was immovable. It was. But one thing above all, and I mean this with all sincerity, she wanted to die at home in her own bed, and she got that wish. And I'm so, so happy for being there when she passed. She had a smile on her face, and all her dreams, or her wishes came true, and I'm really happy for that. I always thought that when your time has come and you depart this world, if you look back and ask yourself, did I leave a positive mark and make a difference? If the answer is yes, then you've done well. You've done awesome, in fact. And you know, my mom did just that. She left a mark everywhere. And she was... So, to finish, to a truly amazing woman, my mother, Granny and Gigi, I say cheers and thank you. We'll miss you. Thank you very much. Come, sweetie. Did you come and say hi? Did you say hi to everybody? Come on. Oh, God, you're getting heavy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael and David. Very good. And now, a very dear friend, Mr. Peter Sue, would like to come and say a few words, please.
I know she does. W.J. Wilson lady here. My name is Peter Sue. I'm a dear friend of Jack and Kay. When Jack left us, Kay and I decided we would meet each once a month for lunch. And we did this faithfully, permitting situations. But we also contacted each other. And during the lunch, she always talked about the wonderful boys, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. It was, you know, when you're two, you talk about your kids, your grandchildren, and what other family things. And like I heard before, she was always immaculately dressed. She wouldn't come out the elevator without her hair done. I was always afraid we were getting robbed. She had some old jewels on and clothing. I mean, it was just stunning. And somewhere along the day, I became a boyfriend. I don't know what happened, but I had to ask permission on the boys. And my wife allowed me to have one girlfriend. That was Kay. So we went through the last 10 years as boyfriend and girlfriend, and we are together. I must say I enjoyed Kay immensely. We had a lot of things in common. I was a little younger, but still didn't make a difference. And we used to go bowling together in Ivorians, and we used to go to social events. And then sometimes we didn't see us for ages, right? Sickness or whatever. I moved to Hawaii for a little while. But then I had lunch with Kay a early December with a new outfit, new purse, new jacket. She had to show me everything. And Kay's favorite thing was Campari on ice and chips. No matter what meal we ordered, I had to have a side order of chips. Campari was not so exotic, but chips was always the mainstay, right? She had to have chips. So we enjoyed our outings, and then after, she always wanted to go for a drive. So I took her for a drive. So I actually went to places I never would go, like Esquimalt and other place, right? So we toured all over the island, not over the island, but Victoria, Greater Victoria. We spent maybe 3 hours together, and then I dropped off at the elevator, and she went. And I must say, Kay was a very courageous woman, because all the time we met her, she had a lot of pain. Which she didn't complain about, but I noticed when she got in the car, you could see she was uncomfortable, even walking sometimes. So some restaurants we had to give up because it was awkward to get to, long ramps. But the snacks, she liked the snacks, so that was handy. And to me, Kay will never be gone. She was such a force that she's still there, right? I mean, I say, hi Kay, how you doing, right? Enjoying Campari and chips? But anyway, I also like Jack very much, and we had always great times. But it was a pleasure knowing Kay and taking her out for lunch and doing stuff together. And whenever you needed Kay, she was either at W.G. Wilson, or the Regency, or at Thrifty's in Fairfield Plaza. So I thank you all very much for listening to this short story. And I'll say, hello, Kay, have a Campari and a bunch of chips. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you, Peter. We're almost done, everybody. You know, I came across this little reading, and I just thought it was so suitable for Kay. Okay, it's called Shake a Volunteer's Hand. Volunteers are a very special breed. They're not afraid to step in when they see the need. They're always willing to lend a hand, to lift someone up who's sinking in sand. They always have something encouraging to say, and they manage to say it in the kindest of ways. They share their skills, talents, and time, and in return, they don't ask a dime. So next time you meet or see a volunteer in honor of Kay, shake their hands and let them know you're happy they're here. One of the last things now, it is important to the family that I mention how wonderful our wonderful Victoria Hospice is and the profound effect that they had on the family. You are being remembered as their Victorian angels. The family loves you all dearly. I'd like to share one last message. We celebrate Kay's life as a person who brought beauty, life, joy, and love to your life. Let this be her legacy, based on how she lived her life. And for this, we say, well done, Kay. Thank you. So this concludes the formal side of the celebration. So again, thank you all for being here. My name is Cindy McCallum. The family cannot thank you more for all being here at this wonderful time. So enjoy some refreshments on the family, and please take care. Thank you.
grubby hands that grip the rail, wipe the window clean of frost as the morning air laid on the latch. A whistle awakens someone there, next door to the nursery just down the hall. A strange new sound you never heard before, a strange new sound that makes boys explore. Tread neat, so small, those little feet. Amid the morning, his small heart beats. So much excitement yesterday that must be rewarded, must be displayed. Large hands lift him through the air. Excited eyes contain him there. Just here, his puzzled head tipped to one side. Amazement swims in those bright green eyes, glancing down upon this thing that makes strange sounds that sing. In those silent, happy seconds that surround the sound of this event, a parent's smile is made in moments. They have made for you a friend, and all you ever learn from them, until you grew much older, did not compare with the one they said. This is your brand new brother. This is your brand new brother. This is your brand new brother.
I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me her room, isn't it good, Norwegian wood. She asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. I sat on the rug seems so far, but it never is. And you won't need to stay, but you might lose your strength on the way. Sometimes you may feel you're the only one, 'cause all the things you thought were safe, ooh, now they're gone. But you won't be alone, 'cause I'll be here to carry you along, watching you till all the work is done. And when you find your heart, you better run with it, 'cause when she comes along, she could be breaking it. You know there's nothing wrong, you're learning to be strong, don't look back. And she may soon be gone, so don't look back. She's not the only one, remember that. If your heart is beating fast, then you know she's right. If you don't know what to say, well, that's alright. Don't know what to do, remember she is just as scared as you. Don't be shy, even when it hurts to say. Remember, you're gonna get hurt someday anyway. And you must lift your head and keep it there. Remember what I said. I'll always be with you, don't forget. Just look over your shoulder, I'll be there. Oh, oh, oh. You look behind you, I will be there.
I gotta quit this habit. It's like some drug for you. You've been my sweet, sweet addict. I've been your little white boy blue. You've got the same obsession. We ain't no cat and mouse. You linger on my lips like confession. You laid the traps in this house, and it's no use. Each way we lose, you and me at the crossroads of Blue Avenue. Hit and run, hearts collide here. True love passes through. Looks like we've got a wreck, babe, up on Blue Avenue. Up on Blue Avenue. Blue Avenue. Two hearts get entangled, dirty minds, they go to town. Everyone's got an angle, little lies get spread around. Let them them say what they want. You and me, we are ready here. Takes more than hocus pocus, babe, to save you from Blue Avenue. And it's no use, each way we lose, you and me at the crossroads of Blue Avenue. Hit and run, hearts collide here, true love passes through. Looks like we got a wreck, babe, up on Blue Avenue. Blue Avenue. Blue Avenue. At the crossroads of Blue Avenue, hit and run, hearts collide here, true love passes through. Looks like we got a wreck, babe, up on Blue Avenue. Up on Blue Avenue. Blue Avenue.
I went home and I stood in the garden looking on where my dog used to reside. Oh, and I started thinking about your eyes, deep water. I walk in and I cook with my mother once more, and she'll peel the onion and she'll ask me why I never call, why my pride only arrives before I fall.